Most people see failure as the end of the road. But what if I told you it's not the end, it's the beginning? Every failure carries a message, a lesson, a direction. The problem isn't failing, the problem is refusing to listen to the feedback hidden inside it. Today, I want to show you why failure is not your enemy, it's your guide. Step 1. Failure is not final, it's a signal. Failure is not final, it's a signal. Too often people treat failure as a full stop, a permanent label stamped across their identity. But failure is never a conclusion, it is a message. When you stumble, when your plans collapse, when something you worked for doesn't turn out the way you hoped, it is not life closing a door on you, it is life whispering that a different approach is needed. Failure is a signal pointing out the flaws in your method, the weaknesses in your preparation, or the timing that wasn't right. It is not declaring that you are incapable, it is declaring that there is something yet to be adjusted. Think about it. Every machine has warning signals. When a car's light flashes on the dashboard, it is not telling you the car is worthless. It is simply alerting you that something inside needs attention. Failure works the same way. It is not a verdict against your potential, but a light flashing on the dashboard of your journey, asking you to pause, examine, and make the changes necessary to keep moving forward. Those who understand this do not fear failure because they see it not as a wall, but as a signpost. The danger comes when people mistake the signal for a sentence. They stop, they quit, and they carry the burden of believing they are not enough. But those who rise higher are the ones who pause long enough to listen. They ask, what is this failure telling me? What is it signaling about my effort, my discipline, my strategy, or even my mindset? When you see failure as a signal, you shift from despair to direction, from regret to responsibility, and from defeat to determination. Step 2. Shift your perspective. Shift your perspective. The way you see failure determines whether it breaks you or builds you. If you view failure as shame, you will carry it like a weight, heavy on your spirit, making you afraid to try again. But if you see it as a teacher, suddenly the entire experience changes. Failure stops being an enemy and starts becoming an instructor, guiding you toward a higher level of wisdom and understanding. The same event, the same disappointment, the same setback, through a different lens, it reveals lessons that were invisible before. Perspective is powerful because it shapes your inner dialogue. When you fail and tell yourself, I'm not good enough, you chain yourself to fear and self-doubt. But when you fail and tell yourself, this is part of the process, this is how I learn, then even in the middle of defeat, you remain open to growth. The shift does not remove the sting of failure, but it transforms the sting into fuel. Instead of asking, why me? You begin asking, what next? That simple change in language pulls you forward instead of holding you back. Think of the stories of great inventors, leaders, and dreamers who faced countless failures. They did not possess some magical immunity to defeat, they simply chose to interpret failure differently. To them, each mistake was data, each setback was proof of progress, each wrong attempt was one step closer to the right solution. This perspective allowed them to keep moving when others would have given up. What one person calls the end, another calls a beginning. The difference is not in the circumstance, but in the lens through which they choose to see it. Step 3. Courage to adjust. Courage to adjust is what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. Many people fail, recognize what went wrong, even understand what must be changed, yet they lack the courage to actually make that change. It feels safer to cling to old methods, old habits, and old ways of thinking, even if those very patterns are what caused the failure. Adjustment requires humility because it forces you to admit that the way you approach something was not the best way. It demands flexibility because you must be willing to shift direction even when you were convinced you were right. And most of all, it requires courage because to adjust is to step into the unknown once again with no guarantee other than the belief that this time can be better. The truth is, avoiding mistakes is not a mark of strength. Everyone makes them. True strength is shown in the ability to correct course. A pilot does not set the plane on autopilot from takeoff to landing without ever adjusting. Instead, countless small corrections are made during the journey to ensure the plane stays on track. Life is no different. Failure is the turbulence, and courage to adjust is what keeps you from crashing. It is not weakness to change your strategy, your plan, or even your dream. It is wisdom to recognize when an adjustment is the very thing that will carry you closer to success. Those who rise are not always the most talented or the most intelligent. Often they are the ones willing to look at their mistakes with honesty face the discomfort of change, and take a new step in a new direction. It is easy to cling to pride and stubbornness. It is far braver to admit, this way is not working. Let me try another. Step 4, resilience builds character. Resilience builds character in ways comfort never can. When everything is easy, smooth, and predictable, you may feel good in the moment, but you are not being stretched. It is only when you are pressed, when you are tested, when you are knocked down and forced to get back up, that the deeper qualities of your character are shaped. Resilience is not just the ability to bounce back. It is the inner strength that forms while you are standing in the fire of adversity. Each setback that you endure and rise from leaves behind something greater than success. It leaves behind courage, patience, and a deeper understanding of your own strength. Failure, disappointment, and difficulty are not meant to destroy you. They are the training ground where character is built. Think of a muscle. It does not grow by remaining idle. It grows stronger only when it is pushed beyond its limit, when it feels the weight of resistance. In the same way, resilience grows when you continue moving forward despite resistance. That steady decision to not quit, even when you feel tired or discouraged, is what begins to shape the kind of character that can handle greater responsibilities and greater victories. Resilience also teaches humility. When you realize that you cannot control every outcome, you begin to accept that setbacks are part of the process. And when you rise again after falling, you carry with you the quiet confidence that nothing can permanently defeat you. This kind of inner strength does not come from books, from comfort, or from easy wins. It comes from the lived experience of facing hard moments and refusing to let them define you. In that process, resilience becomes more than survival. It becomes the builder of true character. Step 5, faith over fear. Faith over fear is the decision to trust in something greater than your present struggle. Fear will always appear when you stand at the edge of uncertainty. It whispers that you might fail again, that you are not strong enough, that the mountain before you is too high to climb. Fear magnifies obstacles and minimizes your ability. But faith does the opposite. Faith lifts your eyes beyond the failure, beyond the difficulty, beyond the temporary pain, and reminds you that your story is not finished yet. Where fear says stop, faith says step forward. Where fear says you can't, faith says try again. Fear thrives on what is unseen. It creates images in your mind of everything that could go wrong. But faith also rests in the unseen, with one powerful difference. It believes not in disaster, but in possibility. Faith is the conviction that even if the path is not clear, even if the outcome is not guaranteed, there is purpose in the process and strength available for the journey. It does not deny reality. It simply chooses to believe that reality can change. It takes courage to hold on to faith when evidence seems scarce, but that is exactly when faith is most alive. When you choose faith over fear, you release yourself from paralysis. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start moving forward with imperfect steps. You acknowledge the fear, but you refuse to bow to it. Every great achievement in history was born from this kind of faith. Faith that failure is not the end. Faith that growth is possible. Faith that tomorrow can hold something better than today. Fear seeks to shrink your life, but faith invites you to expand it. Step 6, rise with renewed vision. Rise with renewed vision. Every fall has the potential to open your eyes in a way success never could. When you stumble, when plans collapse, when the outcome is not what you hoped for, you are given a chance to see differently. Failure clears away illusions. It strips you of pride, it humbles you, and it forces you to ask deeper questions. What truly matters? What should I hold on to? And what should I let go? These questions reshape the way you see your path. And if you allow them to, they will give you a vision stronger and clearer than the one you carried before. Renewed vision comes not from ignoring failure, but from learning through it. The pain of falling sharpens your focus. Where before you may have chased approval, now you learn to value growth. Where before you may have pursued comfort, now you learn to embrace challenge. The vision that emerges after failure is purified. It is no longer built on shallow desires, but on a deeper sense of purpose. And with this kind of vision, you rise not just to repeat what you were doing before, but to step into a new level of determination and clarity. This is why rising after failure is never about simply getting back on your feet. It is about getting back up with a changed perspective. It is about refusing to walk blindly into the same mistakes, but instead moving forward with eyes open and a heart wiser. The renewed vision you carry transforms the way you act, the way you decide, and the way you persist. With it, you are no longer just surviving failure. You are turning it into the very tool that prepares you for greater success ahead. So, as you walk away today, remember this: failure is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Every fall is a signal, every mistake a lesson, every setback a chance to rise stronger. Do not let fear hold you. Do not let shame silence you. Adjust where you must. Keep your faith alive and rise with vision that is clearer than before. The road is not meant to be perfect. It is meant to shape you. And if you choose to see failure as feedback, you will never stay down. You will rise again and again until the very things that once broke you become the foundation of your strength.